Welcome to another episode of the Greenside Experience. I'm here in front of one of our projects here in Glen Ellyn, Illinois, and I have a few details inside I want to show you. Let's go check it out. So before we jump inside, I want to show you guys what we've got going on outside here. We are starting to install our storm sewer. Now, a lot of these infill lots where there was a previous house torn down, you know, the old house was probably 50 to 100 years old. There's a lot of old infrastructure. So when we're building the new houses in these locations, quite often the municipality puts it on the homeowner or the builder to improve the utilities that are on the lot or close by the lot. So what we're doing here, we're resolving a stormwater issue that happens in the back of the lot where there's some pooling and puddling. We're running a storm sewer line down the side of the house, across the detached garage into the backyard. You can see we have our pipes here, SDR 26. We're going to connect that into the back of a storm structure over here. You can see they've just started the connection to the structure in the street, and they've brought it underneath the public walk and into our lot. So now we will connect to this structure that we've added here. So I'm standing in the backyard here, and as you can see, there's a depression back here. It's lower than the house, it's lower than detached garage and the neighboring properties. So all the water collects here. So if we're going to build a new house, they're going to make us correct that situation. So we're going to run our storm sewer through here from behind the camera across to this lower area. It won't be a catch basin, it'll be more like a yard drain, but it'll collect the pooling water, run back this way, run down the front of the house and into the storm sewer, and correct that stormwater issue in the backyard. So one thing we try to do on our building sites is be as efficient as possible. One example of that is here while we're putting the storm sewer in, my sewer contractor is also going to run the conduit line for the electric service for me. So he has to directional bore underneath the street to get to the storm structure, and we will directional bore under the street to get to the power pole that's across the other side of the street. Once we come across, we'll trench the remaining run and turn it right into this electrical service box. And you can see my electrician took the cardboard and he covered the box just to protect it from the rain before the meter goes in. So kudos to him. So we are in the garage. It's an attached garage. Although it's attached to the house, it is still considered exterior space. All right, even though we heat it, we have radiant heat in the floor here. It will be heated in the wintertime, which helps with the rooms above, which helps with plumbing. We do have some plumbing in here that we're going to have to box around and insulate. But we do have that heated garage to help that scenario. But while we're out here, I want to show you that this wall, common with the house, is treated as an exterior wall. So we have plywood on this wall. If you're a homeowner watching this video and you're building a house, you want to make sure your builder actually puts plywood or an exterior insulation or some type of barrier on the common house to garage wall. You can see over here, the plywood ends here because this is where the corner of the house is. This is all exterior wall. This looks out at the porch. This looks into the foyer. That's why this wall has plywood on it. And you have to think ahead, because this plywood has to flush out with your framing members before you drywall. Otherwise, you're going to have a little step here. And you can also notice we've got our air sealing done where the foundation meets the wall. So we've got our Siga Fentrum tape. We'll have to come back and tape the corners, and then we're going to drywall over it, and we should be pretty much air sealed at that point. So let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever had a washing machine leak or a washing machine overflow and spill water all over your floor? If it's on a second floor like this house, did it flow down through the ceiling, through the floor, and ruin some stuff on the first floor? Well, we've got a solution, a really nice solution. Let me show you. So we've got a stainless steel pan here, similar to what Matt Reisinger showed us one time, what he made underneath his dishwasher. He made a custom pan. This differs a little bit though. This does not have a front lip. It only has a lip on the sides and the rear. So you're going to ask, well, what stops the water from flowing out the front edge of that lip? Well, let me show you. This pan has a metal trough underneath, right? And the drain comes out the bottom and the center of the metal trough. So in our rough out stage, you can see I have it marked out here for our plumber. He's going to leave his P-trap and drain directly underneath this hole. It'll be below the floor, flush with the subfloor. So when we're ready to tile, we'll set this in place and we will actually leave a little trough in the tile work. So we're going to see the subfloor between the tile here and the tile here. Just a little trough so that that trough drain can sit into it. And when that happens, this entire pan will sit dead flush. Now, why is that such a unique and good idea? Because when you slide your washing machine in, you don't have to lift it over this top ledge. For any of you that have put plastic pans in for washing machines, I'm sure you've hit the edge of that pan and even broken it because it's cheap plastic. This takes care of that. It sits down, it sits completely flat. Your washing machine can completely slide in without having to worry about hitting the front lip. And then the water, if it ever leaks, hits the pan and goes down into the trough. They also give you a little grate to cover that. And in the event of your P-trap evaporating, you can get easy access to pour water down there or pour mineral oil so you don't get the backup of that sewer gas. This is a really, really slick idea. It's Killarney Metals that makes this. I really like the name, a nice Irish name. So if you guys want to see what they offer, they also offer these for under-counter refrigerators, dishwashers, any type of appliance, ice makers, any type of appliance that will that has the possibility of leaking. You can put these stainless steel pans underneath them without the front lip. So another feature I'd like to show you guys is this house has a steam unit, a steamer for their master shower. Now when we rough those in, we like to get the actual steam unit, the mechanical unit, as close to the shower as possible. Quite often that means it's going to be in a master closet, like it is in this scenario. So if you come here, you can see we've got marked out where our steam unit's going to go. Plumber has roughed in his supply, so the copper water supply to create the steam, obviously, and then a drain. You always need a drain because there's a continuous flow through the steamer unit and you have to drain it out. So you also get a drain in there. And we will also put a pan in here, actually, similar to what we showed you in the laundry room. We will have a pan set in here just in case there's any malfunctions or anything that happens with the steam unit. Another item I want to talk to you guys about in this house, we are going to be installing a Zehnder mechanical ventilation system. It is a dedicated fresh air system. It's a ventilation system that's separate from the normal HVAC system. So it doesn't connect into your normal ductwork. It doesn't connect to your furnace. It's its own separate system. And what that'll consist of is basically an ERV unit in the basement, and it has dedicated ductwork to all the rooms of the house. Now that ductwork is not your typical metal ductwork that you see. It's actually 3.5 inch or 4 inch plastic tubing that'll run up through the walls. It can fit into a 2x4 stud bay, which is really convenient. But what that's going to do is take the place of our normal bath fans. So we won't have regular ducting to our bath fans. It'll all connect into the Zehnder system. It'll take that stale air, it'll ventilate it, clean it, and pump it back into the house so that the house always has fresh air. And that system is always on. It's not just on when you go into the bathroom and turn your fan on. It is on all the time, and it'll ventilate the entire house. So stay tuned for that. We're pretty excited. It's our first Zehnder system, so we're going to document the whole installation. Never mind. I'd like you to, I can never get these right. All right, guys, thanks for joining us on this episode of the Greenside Experience from this custom home where we're going to be installing that Zehnder system. Make sure you tune into the future videos to see that whole install going in. It's going to be really cool. And also, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and click and like and subscribe and comment. Whatever it is. We'll see you on the next one.